The Chiefs are very primed to do something that has not been done in over 15 years. And here's what that is. Repeat as Super Bowl champions. The last team to do it was the Patriots, led by Bill Belichick and Tom Brady back in 2003, 2004. No team has done it since. The Chiefs are primed to do it, and I think they should be absolutely the leaders to do it, and here's why. The Chiefs were able to do something that most teams, when they win a Super Bowl, can't. Retain talent. So many times we see once a team wins a Super Bowl, a lot of guys on expiring contracts or either are re-signed for bigger money, right? They think, oh, man, this guy was great during the run. We need to have him, and they overpay for a guy to keep him there. Or vice versa, a lot of players want to get paid. Now that they got the ring, now that they won a title, they'll go elsewhere. They're more inclined to go to a bad team because they got the ring, and now they say, I want the money. So a lot of times it's very hard for teams to retain talent and return it after winning a Super Bowl because money is so tough to come by, and either you overpay a lot of guys to keep them there, or you can't afford to pay everyone, and a lot of players, there's a mass exodus, and they go elsewhere. The Chiefs were able to do something, like I said, in returning talent that most teams can't. They are returning 20 of their 22 starters. They lost just 2 players that started in the Super Bowl for them, linebacker Reggie Ragland and left guard Stefan Wisniewski. Think about that. 20 of the 22 guys that started in the Super Bowl for them, that had a great year leading up to that Super Bowl win, are all back. Obviously, most importantly, Patrick Mahomes. But a lot of his key pieces, Sammy Watkins was a free agent. He comes back with a team-friendly deal. There's a lot of guys now going to come back to try to run it back. And not only do they retain most of their starters, they also added talent. Despite having basically zero cap room, they're able to keep almost everyone. And not to mention, they added talent. I love the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick. There's the last pick in the first round, the running back at LSU. I think he is one of those guys that fits the Chiefs' offense perfectly. He can come in, he can catch the ball in the backfield. He can come in, he's a tough runner. We saw him run between the tackles. He ran for 1,400 yards last year for LSU. So he is the perfect running back for 2020. Not just that, the perfect running back for Patrick Mahomes and an Andy Reid-led offense. Because you already have Travis Kelce. You already have Tyreek Hill. You have Sammy Watkins come back. So you have threats at all 3 levels. Now, not to mention, here comes Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So you have to worry about all 3 of those guys already burning you. Now you have to worry about the running back. Catch them out of the backfield, running between the tackles. So hard to tackle. So this is just another weapon now that Patrick Mahomes has at his disposal. I think he'll have a great rookie year. Again, fit right in. I think he's the perfect prototype running back. You may not have him, in your draft rankings for running backs at number 1. You may like DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins. That's fine. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire was number 1 for the Chiefs because he fits them perfectly. He fits what they want to do. He's the guy you can plug in and, again, just will feast on defenses. If you want to put a linebacker on him, he'll have no problem beating him. You want to put a safety on him, he'll run over him. He's a matchup nightmare for a lot of these teams now, and it's going to be so much fun to see what Patrick Mahomes, and again, with Andy Reid, can do with them. So they return a lot of starters. Again, 20 or 22, which is unheard of for a team that won the Super Bowl. They add talent in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And not to mention, too, I think this is the toughest part, right? Returning talent is very hard. But if you have the money, if you have the flexibility, if you have a young quarterback under a cheap contract like the Chiefs do, it's easier to retain a lot of these guys. So Patrick Mahomes has not gotten paid yet, which allows the Chiefs to pay other starters to come back. So that's partly why they're able to do it, because rarely do you have teams right now win a Super Bowl when the quarterback is still not paid highest or the highest guy on the team. But also, partly and also because of budget, partly is also it's so easy to slack off, to get complacent when you win a Super Bowl. And this is why I'm really all in on the Chiefs going back and repeating this year, is because Patrick Mahomes, starting with him, is already leading this team and already discussing about how they want to repeat, and they're hungry. So Patrick Mahomes spoke on Friday. He's asked a lot about his contract. This is, again, this first time a lot of the media were able to talk to him, essentially the Super Bowl. And he discussed, again, his contract, but more importantly, too, he discussed why he thinks the Chiefs are set to repeat. I'll play right here. Why don't you listen? This is Patrick Mahomes on Friday, talking about why the Chiefs, he thinks, are primed to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
When you win that Super Bowl, you kind of relax because you feel like you've done it. You've went out there and accomplished your goal, and you relax for that little bit of the offseason. But I think with our team, the little bit of difference I feel like we have is it feels like every single guy on our team, once we won the Super Bowl, was like, we definitely celebrated for about a week or two, and then after that, it was that mindset of we're going to get back after it. We want to do this again. Having that mindset will hopefully keep us from relaxing or anything like that. And I think that's why teams don't repeat. And it's such a hard league. There's so much turnover that it's hard to get that same spark and make that same run. But I feel like we have a good chance of at least preparing ourselves to be ready to do that. And so I'm excited for that opportunity.
So you have it. Patrick Mahomes right there is explaining and laying out why it's so hard to repeat. Because it's so easy to get complacent. You work so hard to get to the top. It's so hard to win a Super Bowl because, like he said, there's so much parity. Right? The NBA, we see, there's 3, 4, 5 super teams, but for the most part, these guys stay together. The same 5 or 6 teams each year can compete for a title. And now, like you said, the NFL is really the one league where there's so much turnover, where it's so hard to kind of build sustained success, which why it makes the Patriots dynasty run of 2 decades just honestly impossible to think about, impossible to have it actually happen. But it's so hard to stay motivated. It's so hard to stay satisfied once you get to the mountain because it's so hard. The Chiefs almost got there 2 years ago. And obviously you have the overtime loss at home in the AFC title game to the Patriots. It's easy to kind of, use that as fuel to get back, right? Still a young team, still so much talent returning. They kept that hunger and used that to fuel them throughout the offseason. And as you saw, they run through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. But now that you actually do it, you actually get accomplished, it's so hard to keep that edge, keep that spark. That's why Michael Jordan, it's so impressive that he was able to win have 3-peats 2 different times is because it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to celebrate. It's so easy to kind of rest in your laurels when you've won a Super Bowl, when you win 2 Super Bowls, or in MJ's case, when you win 3 straight finals. But he maintained that edge that the rest of the team adopted and followed through with. Patrick Mahomes right now is keeping that edge. He's keeping the team motivated. They are hungry to still win another Super Bowl. So despite the Ravens having a great offseason, getting Calais Campbell, I thought they had a great draft. Despite the 49ers, I think, also making some good trades. I like the Trent Williams deal to solidify their offensive line. And the Saints have improved as well. So these teams are coming for the Chiefs. And they are the team that now the teams are building their roster to defeat the Chiefs. They are now the poster boys in the NFL for the team to beat. You see the Patriots for 2 decades, right? Teams will try their best to design their roster to beat the Patriots. Now the Chiefs are that team. And you saw it in the draft. Those are the teams out west, the AFC West. With the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos. They drafted a ton of skill position receivers and running backs and tight ends to keep up with the Chiefs offense. They drafted athletic defensive players to try to match up with a Travis Kelce, with a Tyreek Hill, now with a Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The Chiefs now are the poster boys, are that blueprint. Our teams say, we're going to build our team to stop them. So it's hard to say just as motivated or even more motivated after winning a Super Bowl because now you are the hunted, not the hunter. So you hear Patrick Mahomes talking about why it's so hard, because it's so easy to get complacent, so easy to get distracted once you actually accomplish it. And now that the Chiefs are talking about how hungry they are, I'm buying in. I think absolutely they are. I know they're the betting favorite. I'm absolutely in on the Chiefs repeating. I think they will be the first team since the Patriots when they won in 2003, 2004. I think the Patriots will be the first. I think the Chiefs will be the first team in 15 years to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Like I said, the NFC is a gauntlet. So whoever comes out of there will be a very tough test for them. The AFC, I like the Ravens. And again, the Ravens were really building something last year, going 14-2. They had a great regular season. And they only improved upon that with their free agent moves and their draft. So they're going to be a very tough out. I like what the Colts did in free agency and in the draft. I think the Bills are constantly improving. They make a trade for a receiver. A lot of these teams now, so excited for the Chiefs. A lot of these teams are building their team with the Chiefs in mind to beat them. And despite every team gunning for them, I'm rolling with the Chiefs in 2020 to win another Super Bowl and again repeat for the first time in 15 years. So I'm curious to get your thoughts. Are the Chiefs the team to beat in 2020? Is there any other team out there that should be Super Bowl favorites heading into the year, or that could take them down? Let's say, who is the biggest threat to the Chiefs to take them out and prevent them going back to back? Right, like I said. I like what the Ravens did, the 49ers, the Saints. There's a lot of solid teams. Maybe the Seahawks or Russell Wilson, especially in the NFC. Maybe you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's a lot of teams right now gearing themselves up, and it's going to be a very interesting playoffs, assuming injuries don't happen. Because the NFC is going to be very tough again this year, and I'd love to see the Ravens, Chiefs, AFC title game.